Alrighty, good afternoon to you, to everyone, and a very, very warm welcome from my side. My name is Armin Wieland. I'll be your host today for V5 for Africa with Niklas. And without further ado, I just wanted to introduce you real fast to Niklas. Niklas is joining us from Hamburg, Germany today. And maybe Niklas, you can say just hello, one or two words that people can see and hear you.
Yes, I hope they can hear me. Hello. I'm Niklas, head of marketing of brand marketing, so a small new marketing company in northern Germany. That's what we're going to talk about. So I think that's all for the intro. I hope so. If you have any questions, you can just chat to me or write to me at LinkedIn, for example. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Niklas, from your side. So if you're joining us from, let's say, USA or Brazil, a good morning to you. But the rest of us on this time zone, a good afternoon. Again, we're very glad that you could join us today and make the time available. And we're very thrilled to have Niklas on board today. We have been in touch with Niklas for a while now and have really tried to get him in as our keynote speaker, because we at V5 Digital have actually attended one or two webinars from his company, from Brain-Driven Marketing, and we thought they were really great. And we're again really excited to have him on board. Just quickly on the agenda, so we've got about 55 minutes. So by 1 p.m. you should be out, so don't stress about that. And so busy with the welcome. Then we're going to have the actual webinar with Niklas. Then there's definitely enough time for the Q&A. So if you haven't done so already, please do get your questions ready. And for those of you that do not have any questions as yet, I'm sure they will transpire as we move along. And then towards the end, we'll obviously also announce a very exciting new topic for our next webinar on 13th of July. So without further ado, especially those that are hearing from V5 Digital for the very first time, because there might be people also Niklas network that are on the call today. So we are based in Windhoek, Namibia. We are a full service digital marketing agency serving customers mostly in Namibia and Southern Africa, but increasingly also around the globe. And we hope to get one or two new customers on board from the Hamburg area. So I'm looking forward to be working with you should you be on this call. We are passionate about a lot of things, so I'm not going to go into detail. There's definitely not a sales talk. Today is all about Niklas and the psychology of marketing. And but without further ado, just wanted to also introduce our tech partners with whom this webinar wouldn't have been possible. They are in no particular order: Rocket Seat, the Lefevre Marketing trusted by IT email signature marketing solution. We are a proud Salesforce partner since 2020, the world's #1 CRM. And we are equally proud a SharpSpring Silver partner, the revenue growth platform. Before we start, again, and Jürgen, who's my co-host today, he will mention that in the chat. So please do, you can ask your questions in the chat, but it's actually much better to ask them in the Q&A, because then we can just manage that process much more smoothly. And also, for those of you that are on Twitter, active on Twitter, you can stand a chance to win a V5 Digital Diary. All you have to do is tweet with the hashtag V5Africa. And who knows, you might be walking away with a very nice V5 Digital branded Moleskine diary. So just a quick, again, we have introduced Niklas already. So he's going to talk about neuro marketing today. And again, over to you, Niklas, and enjoy the show. By the way, this webinar is being recorded, and we will send out the recording by Friday noon. Over to you, Niklas. I'm going to stop sharing from my side.
Yes, just let me share my screen and presentation. So yes, thanks that I can be here and talk about psychology, because psychology and neuromarketing, which is very close to each other. It's one of my favorite topics, and it's always good to talk about it, because many marketers don't think at this topic when they make marketing. But there's so much potential in this topic, and we will go through it today. we'll go through some hacks. There are many different disciplines in this area. So today we are going to talk more about the purchase decision, for example, but yeah, we will see it a bit later. Yeah, I already introduced myself. So I'm Niklas. I think that's the most important thing to know. And I'm working in this area, in the area of neuromarketing and psychology and marketing. So important for you is that we combine two disciplines, the neuroscience or behavioral science on the one hand, and the marketing, so the practice side, how can we use it on the other hand. So what we're going to plan today is we want to look into our brains, but not really on a table. It would be strange. We want to have a look what happens in our subconscious mind, and what can we do to influence how people's some subconscious reacts on our marketing stimuli we give to them. So it won't be that much full of science. It's more practical. Yes, and that's what we're going to do. What we're going to do today. We will talk about our subconscious first of all. Just some words that you know how the small model. What we think. What is the subconscious? How it works in marketing. Then we have the purchase decision. So state of the art. How is it? How do we perform this purchase decision, and how can we influence that as marketers? In the end, we have a field or some tips in the area of neurocommunication. Yeah, and if you're interested, there could be some good ideas for further education. Could be that I have some slides too much. I wanted to end up here too short. So yeah, maybe we have to skip some slides at the end. But my goal for today is that you get some ideas for A/B tests, so for improvings, which could also work for you. And then you can yeah, test it, because that's very important. What we do is always preparation for tests, because usually I can't tell you this will work. Usually things which I will show you works, but it's not always the case. So it's always good to test it before we really implement it. And therefore, the goal of this webinar is that you get some ideas for possible A/B tests. Right, so we start with our subconscious mind. And when we talk about neuromarketing and psychology and marketing, we can compare this to the maybe well-known iceberg metaphor. So we have a part which is over the water, which we can see. We have a much bigger part, usually underwater, which we can't see. And this can be compared to the impact of which marketing has on people. So there's a conscious impact, and there's a conscious part, for example, for all purchase decisions. Like in the end, we're performing decision and we perform a click or yeah, the purchase itself. But there are many unconscious processes before we perform this decision. And for example, we have in the unconscious area, we have the emotions, which we can't control. We have values and motivations, why we want to buy something, for example. We have the very interesting part of memory. So how do we remember things, and what do we remember? And also perception is a very important part. So everything which we can't perceive, we won't think about it and won't buy it. So it's important that our marketing information passes the unconscious mind of people and reaches the conscious area where your potential customers can think about your solution. And conscious is everything what has to do with creativity, with active thinking. So when you're solving a problem or thinking about a solution, also the will. So when we, for example, when we avoid to buy meat or something like that, then it's a conscious decision. And also learning effects are very important on a conscious level. But as you can see, emotions and motivations are in the unconscious area, and they really drive our decisions. but we will see it a bit later. We can say there are different studies about that, but up to 95% of our purchase decisions, of our marketing impact is unconscious, and just 5% is consciously. So the unconscious area is very important here. We also divide our brain in neuromarketing into these two areas. We have the system one, which we call in system one in marketing, which is the automatically working brain. So where we where emotion happens, where we automatically have the think about the stimulus which came from the outside, and we automatically work them. And just 5% is what we really think about. From all the stimuli which came from the outside, we're just thinking about 5% actively. So, and our brain, or our mind, can be compared to these two yellow figures. The first one is Homer Simpson. I hope you know him, as well as the minions. Homer is a very lazy person, and that's what our brain is. Our brain tries to be as lazy as possible, so it tries to save as much energy as it can. And the reason is, from an evolutionary point of view, it's very useful. It would be very hard when we need more energy, or as less energy we need, as better it is for our survival. So that's why our brain is lazy and tries to save energy. And all the automatically unconscious processes usually doesn't need that much energy, like active thinking, for example. So our brain tries to avoid the active part of our mind. And the minions are very important, or very interesting, because our brain needs emotions, and also, maybe you know it, I think you know it, it's very important in the area of marketing that you can raise emotions in your customers. And emotion are that important because they help our brain to evaluate all the stimuli which come from outside, and give the information which of these stimuli or which of these information which comes in are important. So as more, or as stronger an emotion is, as more meaningful is an information, to say it just in short. Yes, that's enough for the subconscious mind, I think. I hope you have a bit of kind of idea what I mean when I say the subconscious impact of marketing is very important. And now we're going to talk about purchase decision, and about some examples which directly show you what you can do to, for example, influence buying purchase decisions for your customers. But to start with, just in short, what is the modern state of art when we talk about purchase decision? Usually this decision-making process is quite simple. We have a final decision in the end, which is an active decision. So we actively or consciously decide to have a click, to buy a product, to perform a search. That's an active decision. But it's influenced by two main, let's say, emotions. The first one is the reward value. So what is the positive thing which we assume get from the decision when we perform it? And what is the pain of price? So all the negative parts of the decision. And if the reward value is higher than the pain of price, the decision makes sense in some cases. But there are some framing conditions, and we will talk about them. So it's not always the case when usually we say when the reward value is higher than the pain of price, then we perform purchase decision. That's very, very simple. We know that this is not always the case, because otherwise, when you would want to buy a product in the supermarket, and there are many different very similar products, for example, all of them have a higher reward value than the pain of price. So we would have to buy all of them, but that's not the real case. And the process which moderates these decisions are the framing conditions. So for example, comparing different products is a framing condition. And we will talk about it a bit later, because the framing conditions is that what makes the purchase decision a bit complex. Right, but first of all, which we can see here, it's very important that the reward value is high as possible, and the pain of price is felt as low as possible. Of course, because then, we have the highest likelihood that the formula is correct and the reward value is higher than the pain of price. And that's the basis for a purchase decision. So the reward value, what is it? First of all, and that's important, it's an emotional benefit. So it's an emotion. It's nothing which is logical, and that's also important for B2B marketers. It's what we personally think is the positive value. So it's a value which we get through product characteristics, because we think we need to solve a problem, and the product will solve this problem with through its characteristics. And that's one part of the reward value. Another part is the brand value, for example, company value, also important. And so that's what we think, what we get. It's a positive part of a purchase decision. And there are some things which we can do to have a high reward value. And they are not unknown, but not that often used, for example, from our customers or by our customers. And the first thing we usually work on is whether we really defined the emotional value. So what do customers really want? For example, if we have a dancing course, there are many motivations, many emotional motivations why to participate and why to buy a dancing course. And for many women, it's, for example, to have fun, to move. For many men, there's some other motivations, for example, to get to know some women, or maybe some social reasons, maybe also because they have fun. There are many different motivations. Also for me in my past, it was just that I wanted to be part of my social environment, because they all went to a dancing course, and so I also went to the dancing course. And so there are many emotional values and many emotional motivations why people will participate in this course. And it's important to really understand my target customer has this motivation. So I don't need to market the fun part, for example, when I talk to men who want to get to know women, because they don't go to the dancing course because it makes fun. So I don't need to tell them, hey, the dancing course makes fun. It's much more, hey, 60% of our participants are beautiful women. Just to say this is the emotional value for this specific target groups, or this specific target group. So, but it's, of course, it depends on your target group of customers. So we first of all need to know who is our target customer, and what is the emotional value and the emotional motivation why this person could buy or want to participate in this dancing course. Another really good example here is this one. It's a bit funny, and I like it, because this advertisement has many interesting elements from new marketing, but they really find the crucial point. Many people want to participate in a Photoshop course because they want to look better on photos. It's not that they want to know how the technique is used or something like this. They want to have nice Instagram photos, for example. And this is why they want to know how to deal with photos. And this is shown here. In this case, it's a bit humorous, because it's similar to other fitness center advertisements. But they catch the real emotional value of a specific target group who wants to have better Instagram photos, for example. So do we know what the emotional value is, and do we have identified it? The second thing is this emotional value visually shown? So are the benefits which we have from a product visually shown? And especially the solution, is it shown in action, or is the result which we can get from the solution, is this shown? And this is very important. I can tell when I give you some examples. Also, like in this example we had before, we see the result of this product. So we don't see the actual photo course, like you sitting in the room and learning how to deal with photos, but we see the result. This is what we expect to get in the end. And this is important. So I can see within milliseconds what the result is when I buy this product. It's very simple to understand. And yeah, I can very fastly compare whether this is what I want. Another point is another advertisement, also a bit funny maybe, is this one. It's, yeah, you can see the result of this product within seconds or within milliseconds. You know, okay, this is the guy before and this is the guy after using the product, and it's very easy. And it also works for many services, for B2B, for example. Not for all, of course, it's not always useful, but with a bit creativity, you can use this before and after ideas. There's another idea in this area to show the result or the product in action, which came from my life. There was a time when I wanted to have a beard, and the first time, because I never had a beard before, I'm not that lucky with my growing hairs here in the face. So yeah, but I tried it, and I know that I need to care for the beard. So I can't just let it grow. I need a bit, need care, and therefore we use these kinds of groomers for caring about our beards. And there are many many features on this product, many different, we call it hats in Germany. I'm not sure what the English word is. Other features which you can use with the groomer. But there are many different products in this shop when I went to the shop here in Germany, and many different of these groomers, and I didn't know which one should I use. And then I found this package with this kind of groomer. And I saw here that the features are shown, or it's shown what we get in the end. And this is what is so effective. So I decided to buy this product because I understood that I can't do anything wrong with this product. I get exactly what I want. This is what I expected. And so I bought this product, although it was not the cheapest one. Maybe there was a cheaper product. But here I was sure that I get the result I want to get. So this helps to get a high reward value that it's easily shown, and it's part of also the next thing we have: give customers certainty about the reward value. So it's also what I told you before about the groomer. This is in this case, you can also do another thing. You can think about possible fears. And there are many fears. People usually tend to have fears and have some mistrust companies, mistrust products. And so we can think about what could be possible fears, and we can show visuals which show that, which take this fear and show that you don't need to have this fear. For example, in this case, for the iPhone 12, I think they show or they know that this could be the fear that when the phone is falling into water and could be destroyed, then could be fear and why people won't buy this product. In this case, they show you that the product is water safe or waterproofed, can resist water, and in this case, you know it by just seeing the photo, and it's very clear, very easy to understand. So here they get a certainty about the reward value. And also social proof, I think maybe you heard about it. There are different ways how social proof works, but it gives you certainty that you get the reward you expect to get. So for example, testimonials can be used for many products, especially for high-end products. And also when it's clear that 5 people can't tell you whether a costly product is very good, but it helps you unconsciously to think that the product is a good one. And also for Amazon, I think you know it's the reviews. Many people look for them. Yeah, and they also have the sense, or they are useful because they give us certainty about the reward value we will get. We get the feeling when the product is valued very high, and from a lot of customers, then we think, okay, we get what the product is looking like. And also you can perform it quite passively, I would say. So just adding some social proof elements on your website, like how many people already liked a photo or the product, how many people are always in your community. So just showing smart and short elements, which gives your customers some certainty about that this what you're offering is a good solution. Right. So this is what we have to the reward value. Now we come to the pain of price and possible pains. And again, this is an emotional. This is an emotional value. So the pain of price is very individual. So when you buy a car, for example, it could be that some people have a higher pain of price than you and decide to buy another car because, yeah, they think more on the negative condition, or they think the negative condition are higher than the reward value, and you maybe think the reward value is higher than the pain of price. So it depends really on your target group of customers. And what is more, it's not only the costs, it's also the efforts which people have to get the product or to use the product, for example. Best example is learning the product, learning how to use the product is effort. And also negative product conditions. For example, when you buy a car, there can be negative conditions which you can't remove. For example, when the car has, when you don't buy a new car and the car is yellow, you don't like that color that much, then it's a negative product condition and could lead to the decision that you don't buy the car because the car is okay, but it's yellow and you don't like it. And that makes the pain of price higher than the reward value, and still you decide to don't buy it. Yes, and of course we want to lower the pain of price as much as possible. So, and the first question we usually get is whether it's good to show prices, because there are many websites who don't show prices. And the effect of this is when you have interested potential customers, they can't really make this buying decision because they only have the reward value. They know, oh, okay, it's interesting, but they're getting angry because they can't compare it to the pain of price. They just have the one side of it. And the problem now is that our brain is like Homer Simpson and hates efforts, but it needs efforts now to write to your customer service, for example, and going into meetings and finding out how high the price is. So usually people who can't find any prices are kind of angry. And there's one example, one thing which you can do, especially for products which have different prices, where the price is not easy to say. I'm sorry, this is a German example, but it doesn't matter. I can tell you what's important here. One idea is to give examples. So telling customers, for example, this is scent marketing. So using scent in a room, you can show them some important information which you need to make a price. For example, how big is the room? You can say, hey, when the room is, for example, 250 cubic meters big, then it costs you 150 euros per month, just as one example. You can also give other examples, so you can give customers an idea of how high the pain of price is. And usually this helps because then customers can compare the product now, and then it's more likely that they will contact you to get the real price for them, for their conditions. Also, the question how to communicate prices is very, very important, because there are many different ways, and communicate prices on a correct way can really help to lower the pain of price. One example here, which is also quite familiar, is the question whether 0.99 prices are better than round prices. And usually when we get this question, we have two different kinds of products. We have rational products like toilet paper, and we have very emotional products like a very beautiful dress, for example. And in this case, we tend to say that the emotional product needs to have a round price, that people don't think that much about the price. They should think more about the reward value. And for toilet paper, there's no emotional benefit really on this, and it's very hard to find emotional benefits. So the price is a very, very crucial element because we need it. It's a rational product, but yeah, there are less emotional arguments why to buy this toilet paper than another one. And there the price is, of course, one of the most important arguments. And then 0.99 can work. Also 0.97, so prices with 7 can work, especially for education services. But one thing which could work best is to remove the currency symbols, because symbols in this case it's a negative symbol because it shows you that you need to give money away and you need to buy this thing and you need to lose money then. And symbols are very strong and raise emotion in our mind. And this is on a subconscious level. So of course, you know that you need to give money away. But if you use the currency symbol, the pain of price is felt higher than without it. This is what a study shown doing by FMRT. So it's shown that currency symbols really activate the pain center in our brain. So just maybe for an A/B test again, could try to leave the currency symbol, to skip it, and or to write something like in Germany we can write euro. It has not the same effect like the symbol. Although people of course understand it, or you can also try to make it smaller. That could also work sometimes. And there are some companies who did it really successfully. For example, IKEA in Europe tried it out for, I think, a sofa website, and it worked very good. They had a conversion rate which was better and the conversion impact was about plus 5%. So it could really work fine. And what can we do to reduce the pain of price? There's another possibility, which we call anchor effect. We can have this red dress again for 90 euros. And it could be that we have another dress, which is, for example, blue and also costs 90 euros. And but we have only 2 more blue dresses, and we don't want to sell that much blue dresses. But we have in stock, we have 20 red dresses, and we want to sell the red one. But we can't influence our customers that much that we tell them, hey, the red one is much better than the blue one, because it's very individual. But what we can do is now we can work with the price. We can show another red dress somewhere close to this product, and it works offline as well as online. And this other product costs 130 euros. So a dress which costs a bit more, which looks very similar, and we should use a product we don't want to sell. We can also use the same dress, make something different, and higher the price then. So in this case, people tend to buy the 90 euros dress, not that much the blue, and almost no one would buy the red one, the red dress. But if we planned with this, it can work very fine. And because here we have the fact that people think, yeah, another very similar red dress costs 90 euros, costs 130 euros. And the red one we are looking to then costs only 90 euros. So the felt pane of price is 130 euros, but you get it now for less. So you can lower the pane of price a bit, and telling customers that this is a very good deal. While the blue dress has the pane of price of 90 euros, and yeah, there's no good deal in this case. And there's another technique you can use to sell your premium product a bit better, which is quite similar, but it's called the decoy effect. And let's assume that we sell magazines. I choose this one because it has the iceberg on it. And we have a digital version of this product, we have a print version of this product, and a combined version. And print means that we print the product and send it to our customers. And in this case, we have different margins. For example, 10 for the digital one, 9 for the print one, because we have higher costs. And the combined one has the highest margin. And of course, we want to sell the highest, we want to get the highest margin per customer. And usually we have the problem that people tend to buy the digital one because they get almost the same reward value. They get the information, they get the magazine for a much lower price. But what we can do now is to change the price of the printed version, which is usually the one which people tend to don't buy it because it's costly, and it costs more than the digital one, and they like the digital one, for example. And we can adapt this price to the 19 euro of the combined product. And what happens now is that people have the choice between the digital one, which costs 12 euros, the print one of 19 euros, and the print and digital one of 19 euros again. So usually they won't buy the print one again because they can get the print and digital version for the same price. But the print and digital version now has a felt value of 39 euros, 31 euros. So the combined value of the print and digital version. So you really save money in this case. And this happens to people who think that they get the best deal, and now more buy the premium version. So, and also discounts are very important. I think you know it. And discounts always show us that you get a product for a lower price. So you, of course, lower the pane of price in this case, and of course also show that you have a good product. You have a lower pane of price, and also showing how much the price is, or how the pane of price was before. So how much was the price before you have the discount helps a lot, because people now know how much they save, or how good the offer, how good the discount is. So this is what we have to the pane of price. Maybe the one, or maybe you get also one or two ideas what you can maybe use in your marketing. We also have the framing conditions, which moderates this buying decision. And the framing conditions are usually they can consist of many aspects. Some aspects I mentioned here. So they can be, for example, that people usually compare different products. So when they know that they need a product and they find different products, or find one product which has a higher reward value than pane of price, so they would buy it to solve their problem, then they compare to similar products with also maybe have this high value reward value and low pane of price, and they compare the products to get the best possible deal. And they also some filters can work. Some pre-made decisions are filters, like if you decide to don't buy any meat, for example, if you want to live vegan, for example, then it's a pre-made decision. And although when your reward value is high and you like to eat meat, and the plan of price is quite low, but you made the decision that you don't want to buy any meat, then it's a framing condition. And also limited offers can be framing conditions. And we have some examples. So how to communicate discounts is very important. So not to telling people you will get, for example, 50 euros. It's important to say you keep or you save money. So in this case, we have different discounts. And here we can see that we have the get version 2 times. So get this, get that. And we have the save version. So save 20 whatever, and save up to 35%. And this is usually what we should do, because people tend to save their status more than getting something which is new, which is unknown, which they don't know what they really get. We also have limitations in stock which we can use. For example, maybe you know the scarcity effect. There are 2 ways we can use it. First of all, time scarcity. So we can tell our customers that they get the offer just for a short period of time. And this is also, it's moderate this buying decision, because people know that they have to make the decision very fastly. So they can't compare very much. This pane of price will stay only for some minutes or hours or days, for example, and then it will get higher. And sometimes it's also that the value of the product is usually higher, and they get it now for a cheap price, for a low pane of price, but this pane of price will raise. And also you can use it not only from a time perspective, you can also use it when you say you have only 4 products left in stock. And you can use it aggressively, like some airlines, when they tell you sometimes we only have 3 tickets in this category and anymore, and 5 people are looking to this in the moment. So you think, oh, I need to buy it now. But you can also use it quite passively, just telling people we have only 4 left in stock. And if you have more, it doesn't matter. You can adapt this number after 1-2 days, for example. This could work also quite fine. And you need to know that people compare products and deals. So there's one thing which we can do, for example, showing our product compared to competitors. This is a crucial thing, because sometimes we show them some competitors. So, but there are products when it's clear who your competitors are, and it's quite normal that your potential customers will compare your product to their product. Then you can use these comparisons very good, very, very well, because you can influence their subconscious evaluation of your product. Now you can see that your product it has all the product features which are needed, which are shown, and the other looks all a bit less useful. So your product seems to be the best one, and it's the first one maybe they see. So this is on an unconscious level very effective in this specific situation. As well, and another example is Amazon or any other shop websites where you have already a comparison of products. This is effective for shops to show you already different kinds of products. And now you can decide on this based on this table which is the best product you want to buy, and you don't need to compare any other websites, because you have some models here. And now, if you have the shop on your own, this will lower the possibility or the likelihood that people went to other websites to compare the products there. So this is what we have for the framing conditions. And I look to the time now. I think, I think we can end up here, and can go to the questions. Armin, if this is okay. I skipped the new communication part then, and if you have any questions to it, just text me via LinkedIn, for example.
Super. Okay. Thank you so much, Niklas, thus far. We don't see any questions thus far in the neither the chat nor on the Q&A. So what I suggest, Niklas, we could actually carry on for probably another 3 or 4 or 5 minutes with the next topic. And then I'm just going to rudely interrupt you if there are any questions, and then you can maybe just cut that section short. Again, you're very encouraged to ask the questions in the Q&A. But as such, we don't see any questions thus far. So that could normally means one of two things. So either, Niklas, you're very clear in what you're saying, or you have completely lost everyone, and that, which I don't think is the case. I think it is very fascinating in terms of what you've been telling us and lecturing us. So I think it's just very clear, and there are probably not any questions. So please do continue, and then I will just rudely interrupt you either here or via the chat if there are a lot of questions streaming in all of a sudden.
Okay, perfect, no problem, because we have enough stuff for today. Neuro communication is an area, it's a very wide area. So I took some questions which could be important for marketers. First of all, the question, how to reduce the bounce rate? Because usually people, and also it doesn't matter whether you have a job or you have a company website, the bouncing rate is quite high. And one of the reasons, there are many, could be the so-called cognitive load. And cognitive load is something, the more energy it costs to understand something, the less likelihood is it that people will think about it. And not even will think about it, they just skip it. So by reducing the cognitive load, you can go short, or you can enhance the likelihood that they will look to your website, read the website, or try to discover your product and try to understand it. And therefore, it could be very, very useful to reduce the cognitive load. And one possibility, which is, you maybe know, are images. And I will show you why. So why are images in marketing that important? You need to be careful, you need to pay attention now, because I show you a very, very short video. So, and what you saw is this. So seeing the video or the image needs 0.15 seconds, and understanding the same information by reading the text here needs 16 seconds. So it's 100 times more effective to show the picture than the text, for example. And this is also what I mentioned before. If you show a product or in action or the result of a product, it's much, much easier to understand. The cognitive load of this information is much lower than showing it via words or via text. And also for your websites. If you have websites with a lot of text, the text can be very good and very impressive and very useful for customers, and your product can be very good. But if customers enter your website and see that there's a lot of text, could be that on a subconscious level, they decide to not read the text, not want to have anything to do with your website, because for your brain, it looks like, it will cost a lot of energy to understand everything. And the brain avoids to need a lot of energy. So many people bounce from a website because the website looks too full, looks like it have a too high cognitive load. And of course, there are bad pictures, so like a lot of details, and when the message is not clear. But there are, of course, also good pictures like this one we have before, where it's very clear what the picture is telling you. Here it's a water-resistant smartphone. Yes, so clear pictures and with less colors. So as more colorful it is, as more higher is the cognitive demand, and as less text you have, as lower the cognitive demand is as well. Also, in this case, I already told you the story. The cognitive demand is quite low, and so it's easier for me to understand it and to think about buying the product. And this, by the way, is another product. This is the first version. This is the second version. So here it's much harder to understand what I will get. In this case, 0.5 to 21 millimeters. But what does it mean? What can I do with these features? Yeah, I can't really work with them. I just see that there I get the gadget, but what can I do with it? I need to think a lot about it, and I'm not sure whether I get the product, the result I really want. So when it comes to memorable communication, when we talk about different kinds of memory we have in our minds, we always talk about storytelling, because storytelling is telling stories is the only way to activate our episodic memory. And episodic memory is like the film of your life. So all, for example, breakfast today or special events in your life are remembered in this kind of memory. And usually it's you who fill this memory. So you fill this kind of memory with your own small films, with your own small episodes. And but by telling a story, you create an episodic for people. You just tell something about somebody's story, and the people who hear the story are part of the story in this very moment. And this is a way how we can contribute messages to get on a long time, so they remember it very well. They will understand the product very well, because of the stories can pass to this episodic memory, and therefore storytelling is very interesting. And we have different kinds of stories. We have the emotional storytelling, and yeah, usually I would give you an example here, but it's a bit running out of time. And also explainer videos. So if you have anything which needs a bit more information to explain your product or solution, then it's very useful to have an explainer video, because yeah, now you can explain it very easily. It doesn't need that much energy and cognitive load to understand your product for potential customers, and you can tell a story, and therefore your product will pass to the episodic memory and will be remembered much better, much better than when you won't use this method of storytelling and explainer videos. Yes, and I think that's it. So this is another example of storytelling. Yeah, but I think you know also explainer videos. If not, I can give you these also very good storytelling videos. Yeah, just some words in the end. Yes, we are almost done here. If you're interested in new marketing, you can Google New Marketing Days. There are some trainings we're giving next week. And they are not for free. If you want, you can get a small discount code, because these are quite long trainings, so 3 hours long, with a lot of examples, a lot of interaction, and a lot of good speakers, international speakers. So yeah, maybe you're interested. Yeah, just an idea of how you can yeah, get more insights and tips. And that's it for today. I'm not sure, maybe you have any other questions. Yeah, otherwise you can contact me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some ideas of how we can use it. And yeah, I mean, I think that's so far what I had to have to say. So I think there's coming another part, and maybe there's some questions. I'm not sure. Maybe also take the time, or take your time to get some to have, if you have a question. Sometimes it needs a bit of time. Yeah.
All right. I just realized I was muted. So thank you so much, Niklas, for that. That was really amazing. And I was just saying that I think I saw some of your slides before, and they're just always, even if you've seen them before, it's just a great reminder. I think you showed many great examples. The dancing class I could definitely relate to, and also the National Geographic example was just another one. Really great insights, and I see the comments are trickling in, which is great. We don't have any questions, so I think it was very clear in terms of what you were saying, Niklas. And
but no problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but if you do have any questions, do pop them in either to us or to Niklas directly. I think Niklas mentioned more than one time that you can, you're very welcome to reach out to Niklas on LinkedIn. So please do go ahead. He's, you can find him very easily on LinkedIn. Reach out to him and his team, and then they can help you further on the path of psychology and marketing, and also neuromarketing, which is obviously related. With that, I just wanted to show you so we're done with the Q&A. So before we go, just wanted to introduce our next speaker. So Vivette Ritman is born and bred Namibian. The topic will be on digital transformation. So why digital transformation is more than just a fad. And essentially, Vivette will take us on a journey telling us that digital transformation is not only about technology, but also about people, and how you need to take those people along in an agile way to make digital transformation work for you and your business. So tune in. As I did mention before, V5 Africa runs once a month, middle of the month, middle of the week, middle of the day. So I'm not sure if that is a good thing, Niklas, in your neuromarketing science. Maybe it is too easy. But for now we kept it quite practical. And the next V5 Africa is on Wednesday, the 13th of July. You will be able to register as from Friday. So Friday we will send out the recording, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 slides from Niklas as well that you can include in that email out to you. And then with that, you can also then register for our next V5 Africa on Wednesday, the 13th of July. I don't see any questions. And with that, I'd just like to thank all of you, and also thank my team members, my core team members, which are on board today, Jürgen and Jonathan. And with that, we would like to close the webinar. Niklas is, as mentioned, he's from Germany, and we would like to keep things on time. So it's just 1 minute after 1 p.m. And with that, just like to thank again, Niklas, for all your insights, for your time, for your preparation time, and for everything. I think everybody enjoyed it thoroughly, including the people behind the scenes. I was watching the WhatsApp chat, and I think that was really positive. And to our beautiful and amazing delegates and audience, thank you to you. We didn't have any questions, but nevertheless, we believe you thoroughly enjoyed it, and we can't wait to welcome you back for our next V5 Africa on 13th of July with Vivette, and on the topic of digital transformation. That's it. Over and out from my side. Have a super Wednesday afternoon. Take care, everyone. Cheers.